Check 1 2, check 1 2. What's up, everybody? Check 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me okay. This is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network. You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me some likes. Give me some shares if you're seeing this, if you're hearing this okay. Comment below. Let me know that everything's coming through good. This video is titled, I'm headed to Richmond, Virginia. Here's how you can help. And I'm going to be doing this live stream briefly. I'm going to cover a few stories and tell you guys about why I'm headed to Richmond, Virginia, and what my concerns are about that whole situation. And then I'll also be going live on the Mind Unleashed on Facebook in just a little bit to talk about that. But before we get into all that, again, let me know that you guys can hear me okay. Everything sounds good? Cool. Awesome. Comments coming in. Great. Thank you guys for that. So here's the deal. What's up? I don't usually appear on camera too often, but I figured it's worth telling you guys, what's going on. And if you guys follow our YouTube channel and especially the community tab, I've been posting more in there. And I posted last night that I'm headed to Richmond, Virginia. Today is Saturday. It's about 12:45 here in Houston, Texas. And I fly out at 7:30 a.m. in the morning to get to Richmond, Virginia. And I'll be there Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then I'll be coming back. And, but we're going to do live streams. I won't be live streaming. Well, I might do some live stream through the Conscious Resistance YouTube channel. The thing is, guys, just kind of side note before we get into this, I have this smartphone. I traded up from a dumb phone, but it's not connected to anything. I just use this, whenever I do have a Wi-Fi connection here or there. But it looks like I'm going to have to pay some money to turn it on so that I can live stream because, this is the kind of situation where you need to be live while you're out there in case some sketchy shit does go down. So I will be turning my cell phone on active so I can live stream some through the Conscious Resistance YouTube channel, but definitely the majority of my work over the next couple of days is going to be coming through the Mind Unleashed. You can find them at the Mind Unleashed TV, I think is the full YouTube channel. And I'm also going to be writing some articles for the Mind Unleashed. For those of you who don't know already, I do write for the Mind Unleashed. And so I'm really interested to see how things are going to go. And I will be getting to your comments. I already disagree with some of the things I'm seeing in the comments, and we'll get to that in a moment. But before we do that, guys, let's do the usual drill if we can. Get you guys ready for this show. I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com. That's my website. That's the home for all of my content. This is where I post articles, essays, vlogs. You can download my books for free. You can find my audiobooks. You can find conscious music. You can follow all of our channels on Minds, on Steemit, Discord if you want to join the community over there. Sign up for our text list updates, guys, because some of you might have just gotten a notification from YouTube. There's 44,000 people subscribed to this channel, and I average 20 to 30 live viewers. It's pretty fucked up. But if you sign up for this text list right here, you're going to get a text right to your phone. Like I just sent one out a moment ago that says, hey, I'm going live right now. Here's the title of the video. Here's a link. It's that easy. Don't rely on YouTube. Don't rely on Facebook. You can also get our content over here at BitChute. And if you want to support, do so at Patreon or Subscribestar. And you can also sign up for our email newsletter. All right, guys. So with that out of the way, as I said, I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to be reporting for the Mind Unleashed. They have launched a crowdfunding campaign. I just did my own crowdfunding campaign, and I do want to say thank you to everybody. You guys helped me raise probably a total of about $3,000 over the last month, and that money is going to fund my documentary, The 5G Trojan Horse, and my new book, How to Opt Out of the Technocratic State, which will be coming out later this month on January 31st, expected to be out January 31st. So you guys helped fund that, and I very much am thankful for that. So I'm not asking for any more money. My ticket has already been bought, but I will say this, guys. If we can fund this project and if the Mind Unleashed can get some funds to help cover their cost, which will help pay me, which will help take care of my Airbnbs, which will help take care of the cost of getting around the city, this is going to encourage my friends at the Mind Unleashed, specifically Joe. Shout out to Joe for agreeing to do this, to send more of us out to do independent journalism like this. I know that there's going to be Lou Krakowski with We Are Change. My buddy Ford Fisher of News to Share is going to be out there. Apparently Alex Jones is going to be out there. Somebody just said, High Impact Flicks is going to be out there. So it's going to be pretty crazy. But I think that I've proven myself in Standing Rock, Ferguson, plenty of other places, the RNC in 2016, the Epstein court case, plenty of things that I can bring a perspective that other people aren't going to bring. So if you want to support this, guys, come over here. I'll post this link in just a moment. But if you look up fundraiser, send TMU to Richmond, or just send Derrick Broze to report on Virginia, search this title right here at fundraiser.com. You can see it over here in the top left. and you can help support. And this gives a little background on the whole situation. Look, there's pictures floating around like this. This looks like some kind of armored construction vehicle. I mean, I don't know if they're going to push protesters out like that or what the hell the deal is, but it's going to be crazy, and we're already getting some contributors, some supporters, so check that out if you can. Now let's get into it though, guys. I have 5 or 6 articles I want to cover that can detail the situation that's going out there and what my concerns are, because I do have concerns. I have some concerns indeed. I definitely have concerns about what's going on and how this is all going to shape up. So let's look at this. This is from a local website, Washington Top News. Frequently asked questions. What you need to know for Virginia Lobby Day for Gun Rights Rally. Monday, January 20th is traditionally known as Lobby Day. And this year, Governor Ralph Northam and a Democratic majority set to roll out tighter gun safety legislation. Gun right proponents plan to turn out in numbers. So again, this Lobby Day, this rally that's happening on Monday, it typically happens every year. And maybe a couple hundred people come out, but it's never been as big as it is now because the Democrats have come into power and they are controlling the entire Virginian government for the first time since 1993. So they had promised gun legislation and they're already introducing it and they're trying to pass it pretty quickly. And it's creating a pretty contentious situation. We covered this on the Conscious Resistance, this video right here, the battle over Second Amendment sanctuary cities. And I was talking about how places like Virginia and other states are using this sanctuary city language to use it for the Second Amendment. And it's creating sort of a battle between localities and the state government and probably the feds too. So Governor Ralph Northam, Democratic governor, declared a state of emergency, I believe on Thursday. And it says recent arrests have further raised those tensions. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Who's organizing this? The Virginia Citizens Defense League, which I mentioned in my article, insists the rally is a peaceful event about gun rights. Again, they've done this for years and it never has ever been violent. There's never been any problem, people coming open carrying. Now, though, with the governor in his state of emergency, weapons are banned in the Capitol grounds. So no guns, no sticks, no all this kind of stuff, and not even helmets. So I can't even bring my helmet to make sure that I don't get hit with some crazy shit. But I'm still going to bring it. We just can't technically bring it in this Capitol area, as you can see right here. That's where things are going to be banned in that particular circle right there. According to the Virginia Citizens Defense League, participants should meet at 8 a.m. at 10th and Bank Streets. Lobbying teams will be formed and will enter the nearby Pocahontas building with a team leader to meet with state legislatures in their office. And I will say that the Virginia Citizen Defense League is basically saying, look, we need to remain peaceful. This isn't about, some kind of circus. They're saying this is what they do every year, and that the left wing is going to be there lobbying for Lobby Day as well, and they're going to be there doing their thing, and that's fine, and both parties can coexist. They don't need to meet up. So they're not calling for amping things up. It's the Virginia governor who declared the state of emergency based on they said that there's going to be outside forces coming in, and obviously people like myself are coming to report. Alex Jones is saying he's bringing his crazy ass up there, and Mike Adams and all these different people. So it will be somewhat of a circus, and I think some of these people are there just to sell their own, to get views, to boost their ego, or maybe to be provocateurs, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. So why did they declare a state of emergency? Credible threats of violence surrounding the event, along with white nationalist rhetoric and plans of out-of-state militias groups to attend, according to a statement issued by the governor's office on Wednesday. The executive order declaring the state of emergency contends that, quote, a substantial number of these demonstrators are expected to come from outside the Commonwealth and may be armed and have as their purpose not peaceful assembly, but violence, rioting, and insurrection. So they're making it sound as if these, gun nuts are just coming there to create all this kind of crazy, violence. And then I saw some people commenting about Antifa and this. I haven't heard much about Antifa coming there, but they probably will be there. But I did hear this, guys, and for those of you who are totally just lost in the left-right paradigm, there is an article about a local Antifa group there in Virginia that is pro-gun. Because guess what? There are some leftists who believe that gun legislation has been used to take away minority rights like slaves and keep people who are already slaves mentally from being able to ever rise up by getting weapons. So there's a chance for common ground if you get out of the fucking left-right paradigm, you delusional fucks. So a substantial number of demonstrators are apparently coming there, and they're going to create insurrection, they're saying. Okay. And then on Thursday, the arrest of a Canadian national and 2 Maryland residents reinforced these concerns. So on one day, we have the governor saying we have credible intelligence that there are these planned attacks and there's going to be violence. And then the next day, there's an arrest. And we're going to talk about those arrests because this is where I think things get a little fucking shady. The 3 men arrested are reportedly members of a white supremacist network called The Base. And I want you guys to think about that for a moment. Where else have you heard the term the base or the database? Think about that. And I'm sure some of you are already catching on, but just think about that. So these guys are a part of a white supremacist network called The Base, which is called an accelerationist group. And for those who don't know what accelerationism is, it basically is this idea that things are so screwed up, politics can't be fixed. And this comes from all different angles. Some left-wingers think this, some right-wingers think this, some anarchists, anarchist accelerationists think this. The idea that we should vote for the worst person, or we should commit acts of violence or do different things in order to accelerate the crumbling, the downfall of society and towards a revolution or something. It's delusional, it's crazy, but that's what they're saying. These folks are involved about this. So again, they go on to answer some other questions. I think that's where we're going to wrap that one up. But we go over here to this Vox article, and of course, I don't trust Vox, but this is a really good look at how it's being promoted and what the message is being put out there. The Virginia gun rights rally, raising fears of violence explained. So they go through here and kind of do their own explainer of the whole thing. Again, Governor Ralph Northam says we've received credible intelligence from our law enforcement agencies of threats of violence surrounding the demonstration planned for Monday, January 20th. This includes extremist rhetoric similar to what has been seen before major events, such as Charlottesville. And look, I'll tell you guys this. I never went deep and researched whether Charlottesville was a false flag. I know many of you think that way, and many of you, not many of you, but some of you even suspect my friend Ford Fisher being involved in it because he was there right in the middle of it and filming everything. I don't think there's evidence for that, but I definitely am open to the idea that the whole Charlottesville thing was a setup. Obviously, we know that Christopher Cantwell, who went all over Vice before the thing, the crying Nazi, I used to work with him years ago on other podcasts, that he came out later and admitted that he was, an informant for the FBI. So there's definitely lots of crazy things going on. Now here again, remember I said The Base, this white nationalist network? On Thursday, the FBI announced the arrest of 3 white nationalists in Maryland, members of a neo-Nazi training network called The Base. The Base, which is the English translation of the Arabic term Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, the same group that was helped, funded just like ISIS by CIA funds in order to fight, the Russians and whoever else they wanted. Yes, that same Al-Qaeda that Osama bin Laden used to attack 9/11, that. Isn't it interesting that this network, this supposed network of white nationalists that was planning some attack uses the name The Base, and they even make a note that The Base translates to Al-Qaeda. I don't know about that, guys, but that set off some freaking alarm bells for me. Like, what the fuck is this? Then, the 3 of the people arrested, including one former Canadian Army reservist who went missing last summer, were allegedly headed to Richmond. According to the FBI, they had constructed a machine gun and obtained thousands of rounds of ammunition and body armor. 3 more members were arrested on Thursday in Georgia. So, perhaps that's true. Perhaps that's right. I mean, like, this sort of buildup of the state trying to take away guns and things of that sort is the kind of thing that might set some people off, and somebody who's a little bit unstable might be like, fuck it, we're headed to Virginia, we're going to do the damn thing, it's time to accelerate this to the max or whatever, right? That is a potential, but at the same time, I think that it's also another potential that we've seen before, that the state would take advantage of this and send in some knuckleheads to try to create violence and to create chaos, order out of chaos, right? So, I don't know, guys. I think that for me, that's the first kind of alarm bell, and I'm going to show you another one in just a moment. But let's take a look real quick at at some more of these neo-Nazis real quick. Let's take a look at who The Base is and what this whole thing is about real quick, if you don't mind. So I found this blog from the TRR Special Report with Norman Spear. I did a bunch of research last night since I found out I'm going on Sunday to try to, go out there. And I found out about, who is The Base? So some guy named Norman Spear, which any copy of this interview that I've looked up, if you look up BitChute, it's gone. Anchor FM, gone. YouTube, gone. Audio Mac, it's gone. But in this Vox article, they reference this guy and some other people, they reference him. Norman Spear engaged in one of the saying that this activist engages in one of the most hard right and radical discussions. Stream the extreme. And so this guy, though, is apparently somebody who's been involved with the base. And look, Vice is ready to tell you all about the base. November 2018 was the first time they started talking about this, the base. So it could be a legitimate neo-Nazi paramilitary organization, or it could all just be a freaking psyop setup. Neo-Nazis are organizing secretive paramilitary training across America. Look, the reality is this. Yes, there are Nazis. Yes, there are left-wing extremists who want to use violence to create change. And they probably create hidden groups and secret groups. But a lot of times, 4chan, 8chan, Daily Stormer, a lot of these extremist sites, like, you know, the deep web and these other places, are just honeypots for the feds to catch people and to create terrorists in order to justify the war on terror. I mean, I hope that you guys see that and understand that a lot of the things we're told are terrorism are really fake. So excuse my skepticism or my hesitance to believe this story right off the bat, that there are neo-Nazis training and that they're using the name The Base, which just so happens to be the same name that Al-Qaeda used. I mean, I find that a little interesting, right? So again, a neo-Nazi who goes by the name Norman Spear has launched a project to unite online fascists. So Norman Spear, this guy, is apparently the one who started The Base. And this was being reported as far back as 2018. And this article goes all into the whole thing, and they apparently got into their chat rooms, and you can hear what they have to say, and they're talking about violence and how they hate Jews, and they've got graphics and yada yada yada. So they're building them up as this thing, right, as far back as 2018. And remember, they said that one of the guys who was arrested, he went missing last summer. This is the guy, Army reservist allegedly linked to neo-Nazi group, reported missing. So he was reported missing last summer, August 2019. He's in the Canadian military. And they basically had disavowed him once they found out that he was a Nazi. That's at least what they're saying, is that he was secretly training Nazis. And look, there definitely are racists within police department. There are racist neo-Nazis within police departments, and within the military as well. I mean, we can't deny that exists, but there are probably extremists of other types hidden elsewhere. So I think that sometimes the neo-Nazi threat is overhyped. And at the same time, there really are some crazy fucking people. So it's hard to distinguish. But I find this interesting that this guy goes missing. He disappears. He pops back up as part of The Base, which translates to Al-Qaeda, or Al-Qaeda translates to The Base, started by this mysterious Norman Spear guy, which all of his videos have been deleted. I can't find, you know, anything real from him. And Vox is out there promoting, saying, this is why the governor need to declare a state of emergency. So do you see what I'm saying? This is somewhat justifying the call for declaration of emergency, because they're saying, look, people were planning attacks. They could be real, it could be fake, it could be a whole psyop just to generate bad coverage for people who want gun, you know, rights and access to guns. Because, you know, I'm not a gun nut myself. I've fired guns. And I'm a felon. I'm not legally allowed to own a gun. But I definitely understand the value of defending yourself against somebody invading your home. Do I think that we can take down the whole government with a bunch of fucking handguns and shit? No, probably not. We'll probably be massacred before we even get there. They're going to drone bomb us. But, and that's not really even my strategy anyways. I believe in counter-economics, not voting, not violence, but opting out of the system, creating something better. But even if I did think that was the way, we're outgunned. We're outnumbered already. We've been outgunned since they came up with, you know, machine guns and Gatling guns in the 1800s. So that's not realistic, but it is realistic to think you could defend your home from some invasive CPS agent, some IRS agent, some robber, some, you know, just criminal coming into your home, whatever badge or, you know, costume they're wearing, they're a criminal. So let's talk about some of these bills. Some of the bills that have been proposed in Virginia: background checks on all firearm purchases, bills limiting the number of handguns, and of course red flag legislation, which would permit law enforcement to take guns from people who deemed risk to themselves or others. Now I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to say that, look, I do think that there's a chance that this whole thing is being set up as some kind of make gun rights activists look like nuts. Because again, remember what I said, the Virginia Citizens Defense League has been doing this for years without any issue. And in fact, they get a lot of support from it. They just go out there, they're just passing out information to the legislators about guns. That's all it is. But now you got this talk of, emergency declarations and terror threats, and people are coming from all over the country, probably from left and right. And it could be a shitty, crazy situation, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on the ground. And the last point I want to make, the reason I think that this has the signs of a potential something could go wrong, I don't want to say false flag, but I don't know, is, look at this. Let's search Alex Jones. Of course, Alex Jones. And you guys know, if you've seen my videos over the years of Alex Jones, I was on InfoWars back in 2011, 2012, a couple interviews. But I long ago stopped trusting Alex Jones. And, you know, I'm thankful that he helped me in my early journey, his information. But I don't trust the guy. Haven't trusted him for years. And so they go on to specifically state how people are talking about the Boogaloo and Civil War II, and, you know, this is amping up. They're really pushing this idea that this could be the Civil War II. And they says, quote, they've been encouraged by conspiracy theorists like InfoWars' Alex Jones, who said on January 8th that he and others will plan to attend the rally because, quote, we've had 2 revolutionary wars basically start in Virginia, and it looks like one may start again. I mean, think about this. Alex fucking Jones is saying that this might start a civil war. And we know he has a following, and even though they've taken him off, you know, they've censored him, he can be influential to some crazy fucking people. And he's out, I mean, this is just irresponsibility. This is the problem I have with some of you out there who are so willing to speculate and just say crazy shit. I consider myself a journalist. I'm trying to actually be accurate in the things I communicate. And I'm communicating the information to you in a sort of balanced way, but going out there and saying this is going to be the Civil War, it's going to be I mean, that's just not safe. It's not healthy, and it definitely doesn't help you gain new audience by looking like a crazy fuck. Not to mention, Alex Jones has claimed that any violence that takes place at the rally will be a false flag. And in an interview with white nationalist Richard Spencer, yes, Richard Spencer is a fucking idiot. He's probably also working for the CIA. I've done videos on him as well. Alex Jones and Richard Spencer talk about probably attending the rally together. And then they talk again about the accelerationist aspect. One other thing, let's check out this. Another name mentioned in here, Mike Adams. Think about this. One far-right website, and it links to Mike Adams' News Target website. Again, I was on Natural News. I was interviewed by Mike Adams a couple years ago. I long stopped trusting him, and he is also very irresponsible with his website and the information and the way he presents his information. You know, he's always like, this is it. They're coming for our guns. Civil War. It's not good. It's not credible. It's not factual, and it's just dangerous. So one far-right site, which is his site, falsely claimed in December that individuals attending Lobby Day will have their guns confiscated at roadblocks across the state because Virginia has, quote, been chosen as the deliberate flashpoint to ignite the Civil War engineered by the globalists. Now, that could be true, but you have no evidence that they're going to confiscate roadblocks across the state, and you just look like an idiot, and you give people like Vox fuel to call the rest of us who are watching the situation and trying to come at it from a honest perspective. You make us look fucking crazy. And here's Mike Adams wrote, to all those who mocked our warnings about the coming Civil War, you are about to find yourself in one. Sure hope you know how to run an AR platform and build a water filter. Things won't go well for the unprepared, especially in the cities. I mean, come on, dude. What the fuck is that? That is just, it's irresponsible. So I think this does have all the telltale signs of something going bad. And I want to show you this one. This is from AmmoLand. Virginia governor sets a trap for Lobby Day January 20th. I don't support everything he said here in this article, but he did say some important things. Do not take the bait. Armed Virginians have been going to the state capitol in Richmond to lobby to restore Second Amendment rights since 2002. The Virginia Citizens Defense League has been very successful. They have been instrumental in moving Virginia away from a may issue to a shall issue state in 1995. So he talks about the benefits there and basically says, don't let them provoke you into, you know, being the crazy gun nuts they want to believe you are, and actually, you know, come there, be peaceful. And he's basically saying vote them out, you know, vote in a bunch of Republicans. Again, I don't agree with that, but you know, he's right. Don't use this. Don't be an idiot. And unfortunately, most of the locals in Richmond are probably not going to be the idiots. It's going to be the people who flood into the town from elsewhere that are the idiots. And that's typically how these things happen. So let's not fall for the trap. Again, Army reservist goes missing last year. Who knows where he was at in that time? Maybe he really was training with these neo-Nazis that have the same name as Al-Qaeda. They're called the base. Maybe he was. Maybe this guy Norman Spear really is just some Nazi neo-nationalist, you know, whatever. He calls himself accelerationist, and this is what he's really planning. Or it could be something else where he's being paid or he's working for somebody. And again, people like Alex Jones and Mike Adams are out there pushing things in that direction and making it where people, you know, people think that the Civil War is coming right now. And so it's a dangerous time, guys. So I really want to encourage you, if you do want to support my efforts, again, let me put the link out real quick. If you do want to support my efforts to go to Virginia, I'll have to find that link real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Well, I'll post it in just a moment. If you do want to support my efforts, though, I'll post the link in the chat, and you guys can You can support me that way. It's not going to me though. What it's going to do is basically go to fund this project. So if you want to help TMU pay for our cost to get me to Virginia, again, the flight's already been bought, but there are some other costs, and it would be nice to show Joe and the team at the Mind Unleashed that we can actually fund projects like this, and that people like you give a shit, and that you want me to be out there on the front lines, that you want somebody like me of my reporting style to be out there to document what's going on. If you can contribute, here's the link. I'll post it in the chat in just a second. And yeah, let's work together, guys. Let's get this information out there so that people can see what's really going on. Here's the link. I'm gonna let the comments catch up, and then I'm going to sign off because I'm going to go do a live video on the Mind Unleashed on Facebook in just a moment and talk with my buddy Aaron and Emma maybe, or maybe Emma instead, about this trip. And yeah, send Derrick Broze to report on Virginia's gun rights rally. Anything you can throw in that pot is going to help this trip. It's going to help my efforts to make this happen. I've got my camera ready, and I've got lots of gear. It's fun, man. I haven't been on the streets doing something like this in a while because, well, as you guys know, I ran for mayor in 2019. I've been writing books, writing documentaries. I haven't had as much time to be on the ground the way I love to, which is where I feel like I thrive, by being on the ground and doing this on-the-ground reporting. And if you've seen my reporting in the past on the ground, I think you're going to appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to turn this phone on, and we're going to go ahead and live stream from out there. I'm going to document it with this camera and get higher quality footage, and we'll be putting out some articles. We'll be putting out lots of content. So once again, if you would like to send Derrick Broze to Virginia Gun Rights Rally, I'm going to post the link one more time. Anything you can throw in there, guys, I really appreciate it. It sends a message to the Mind Unleashed that we're going to continue to do this, that people want this. Because the thing is, Washington Post, they're funded by Amazon, they're funded by the CIA, all these big mainstream outlets, they've got enough funds. They don't need help from people like you. But people like me, people like the Mind Unleashed, we need help to get out there to document it. Because otherwise, if there's no independent media out there, the mainstream gets to tell us what happened. And we all know how dangerous that is. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. I appreciate this. Let me just scroll through the comments real quick and see if there's anything. If anybody wants to send me information, if you're local to Richmond, Virginia, do email me into the light, INTO, into the light at protonmail.com. I'll type that in there too. And let's connect while I'm out there. I definitely am looking for somebody who might know the area better than me. If you know some local activists, if you know some groups that I need to connect to, then let's get connected. Lots of people think this is a false flag. Lots of people think this is not safe. Yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna leave it there though. Again, support if you can. I'll see you guys on the flip side. I'm going to go do this live stream for the Mind Unleashed and talk about this, and it'll probably be much shorter than this, but I wanted to give you guys, my YouTube audience, a little bit of behind the scenes of what my personal thoughts are going into the situation and what I expect might be happening out there. So again, I'll remind you, if you can, please do bookmark theconsciousresistance.com. This is my website where you can get all of my content, and also if you can contribute right here. Right now it says $90 raised. That means $10 more has been raised since I've been talking. Let me refresh it right now and see if another $100 is there. It's still at $90, guys. Can somebody make that go up to $100, $200 within the hour? It's 1 o'clock today. I fly out at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Let's get this up to $500, $600 and at least cover back the cost of my flight, because that flight cost about $600 to buy a last-minute flight from Houston to Virginia. So if you can help out, do that. And if not, well, I appreciate your time either way, guys. And until next time, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.